Welcome to SCP Enomalies podcast. You have compromised sensitive and classified information belonging to the SCP Foundation. You are now considered a high-value target of Mobile Task Force and will be pursued for interrogations. Further interactions with these findings will result in severe consequences. You have been warned.
Okay guys, welcome to take number 2, because someone's Discord is a little bit fucked. This is SCP Podcast with the Anomalies. With me I have my friends, who you already know from previous episodes. So if you are a first time listener, go listen to them. I don't wanna have to introduce these fellas every time.
What a lazy ass, you can't just say 3 names.
Actually 4 to be precise. Fucking.
No Ben. Which said that who the person who's just said that, which is Ben.
That's me, Ben.
That's Mr. Ben. No, and the second 2 people are MP and Omer. And today it's my turn to yet again to choose a SCP. And yeah, should I just start, or do you guys have anything to say?
I would like to say that I'm having a very fun time playing Starfield. Such an awesome game. Like the Bethesda feels is right there. It's literally Skyrim in space. Like, it feels really good. Like you got all these small glitches and shit, but nothing major. Nothing major. It's I'm having a great time. I almost stopped editing the 5th episode, that the previous one that we did, because I'm playing too much Starfield. So maybe I should set my priorities straight.
Hell no.
So today we are gonna have some lasers in the chat that we have to dodge. And we might get a Tesla that's custom wrapped in the Mr. Beast logo. Poggers.
God damn. Are we gonna get sponsored by Tesla?
Oh my god, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna go with Mr. Beast.
I want the Mr. Beast call. Mr. Beast call.
hey, guys, we have to find a Mr. Beast SCP, bro. We're gonna find it.
No, we're gonna create a Mr. Beast.
It's a SCP. You walk into a warehouse and it's like a bunch of traps. And there's like a cursed figure standing in the corner about survive my maze and you will get $1,000.
A giant rat is running behind you.
Oh, then I would stop. I would stand still and let it catch me. So do you want to know what number I've chosen? Or do you?
I mean, you're gonna tell us either way, so it doesn't matter, I guess.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
So tell us about this SCP-1000. Have you prepared like this in a very special way, like you did the first time?
Yeah. I like 1 week ago I started reading.
Of course.
No, so sorry for stalling, but yesterday I get a text about 9 o'clock in the evening, and it's Ben asking me, "Hey, you know you're supposed to choose the SCP for tomorrow's episode, right?" And I was like, "No."
And guess who remembered that? It was me. I texted Ben because I thought he was the Donny to do it. So I almost remembered. But you know what they say, guys. Don't remember to like and subscribe.
Don't remember to choose
Remember.
No, but I chose one that I'm already kind of familiar with. SCP-1000 is one I think is really cool, and yeah, you guys will see what it is in a little while.
Lay it on me, lay it on us.
Item SCP-1000. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. All media reports related to SCP-1000 are to be examined for potential verifiability. All organizations and individuals investigating SCP-1000's existence are to be kept under surveillance by Mobile Task Force Zeta-1000 and discredited or administered amnestics. All physical signs of SCP-1000's existence must be retrieved and kept in Foundation custody and replaced with decoy items if necessary. Alleged sightings of SCP-1000 must always be investigated by NTF Zeta 1000, however trivial the claim. Absolutely no contact with wild or captive instances of SCP-1000 is allowed without prior approval by Director Jones. Any interaction between SCP-1000 and humans, including Foundation personnel, must be reported to Director Jones immediately. So yeah, you might notice that it doesn't really say how to contain, because it's not locked in.
Really? Yeah.
It's not locked in a box.
I'm guessing it's kind of it's a place or an environment, something that's outdoors that you cannot contain it.
It's like my problems, better to avoid them.
How many problems do you have, bro?
A lot.
It's not 99.
No, you
problems,
should
is it?
99.
The joke was. I can't really say what this SCP is. Like it sounds still like it's outside. You're not allowed to have any contact with it. Yeah, I'm guessing that it's outside. That's all I can get from it.
Either way, I will continue with description. Description. SCP-1000 is a nocturnal omnivorous ape, classified in the Hominini branch, along with the genera Pan and Homo. Sexual. Like Filip. Adults range in size of 1.5 to 3 meters in height and weigh between 90 and 270 kilograms. They have gray, brown, black, red, and occasionally white fur. They possess large eyes with good vision and a pronounced brow ridge and sagittal crest on the forehead, similar that of the gorilla, but present in both sexes. Their intelligence is on par with that of the pan troglodytes, the common chimpanzee. So yeah, there's more to the description, but do you wanna guess what this?
An ape, you say? It's a type of ape. I'm very interested to the fact that it says they've got like white and red fur.
But that's not that uncommon. I mean, you get the orangutan that's red, and then you get the albino apes or the silverbacks.
Yeah, but how often do you see a albino ape?
I've seen it,
I'm looking at one now.
and the silverbacks are the silverbacks have white backs as well. So
Yeah, silverbacks are a lot more common. Orangutans, yeah, I can imagine as well.
the king of the jungle. So it's a great ape.
I didn't catch how big or how heavy it was.
Adults, they grow from 1.5 to 3 meters in height, and they can weigh between 90 and 270 kilograms. So there's a huge difference.
3 meters in height.
It's basically a normal dude or a fucking giant of an ape.
That sounds so wrong.
I'm imagining that they're like taller than like the tallest, like even like the taller basketball players, because they tend to be like 2.5 meters.
Yeah,
sometimes.
so this is even taller.
3 meters, like that's Jesus. Who is the tallest basketball player? Shaq?
No, I think it's Malone White.
Suleiman Ali Nashnoush, Libyan basketball player. He was the tallest basketball player ever at 244 centimeters.
That's not even close.
Yeah, so like the tallest SCP-1000 is still like, yeah, what about 40
Jesus.
centimeters higher?
Yeah, 50 centimeters higher. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's a big.
55 centimeters taller.
Oof.
That's,
Man,
that's a big monkey.
that's a big monkey.
There's more. There's more to this description, so I think I'll carry on.
Yeah, there has to be some explanation to why it's Keter.
SCP-1000 evolved alongside Homo sapiens, existing I went through this article yesterday, and I picked some of the words that are hard to pronounce. I have a program that I can just I can select the word. I can content.
Are you talking about Google Translate?
Yeah, well, but like built into my browser. So contemporaneously, existing contemporaneously with proto-humans and humans in large numbers until 10,000 to 15,000 years ago, when an extinction event eliminated all but 1 to 5% of their population. This event was triggered by SCP-1000 contracting an anomalous pseudo-disease, classified as SCP-1000-F1. This disease is passed on at a genetic level and affects every present-day instance of SCP-1000. The majority of SCP-1000 instances are born immune to the effect. Those who are not born immune quickly die. The effect of SCP-1000-F1 is as follows. Any hominid, including humans, chimpanzees, bonobos, and non-immune instances of SCP-1000 that directly or indirectly observes any instance of SCP-1000 has a minimum of 2% chance of being instantly killed through anomalous means by a permanent cessation of brain function. This percent is cumulative, and the longer a human views SCP-1000, the higher their chance of instantaneous death increases, at a rate of plus 1% chance per 20 minutes of viewing. This effect varies between individual members of SCP-1000 species, with some individuals carrying a death chance of 90%. The effect is also produced by dead individuals, though small fur samples do not exhibit the effect. Any thoughts?
This is basically the Slender Man, but in a great ape shape.
Basically.
The Slenderman doesn't cause any kind of disease, does he?
If you look at it, you die.
Yeah, but
Not a disease though, but if you look at it, you die.
yeah, because the creepypasta lore about it is very it's not that well written or well discovered. So I don't know. There are designs of his character having like tentacles coming from his back. So what I'm gathering here is that you're getting this disease just by observing the SCP.
Yes, correct.
Does it say from how far?
No, it just says viewing it. No, it doesn't really say any range.
Didn't they also say that you get the disease from like the corpses if there's a lot of fur on it?
That might have been my reading is bad. So you will get this effect from both dead and alive instances of SCP-1000. But like if you just like look at the hair, cut off hair or the fur, that doesn't have the effect.
All right.
But is there? But if there was a rat nearby, and it got infected, wouldn't it become a rat monkey?
No, you
they don't turn like they
yeah,
don't
you don't
turn into a monkey.
you don't turn. You just if you look at SCP-1000 or an instance of it for too long, your brain just stops. It goes no.
So you need to like look at it. What happens if you're like if it's hugging you from behind?
Well, you're not looking at it, so that would be fine.
It should be fine, yeah. It's a genetic disease as well.
That like doesn't make sense when it comes to like diseases and things like that, because it's not like when you're seeing it that it gets transmitted.
It just heightens your chance of dying.
But I mean, surely it must be like the fur or like bacteria or something like. Like diseases just don't appear. Like if I look at Ebola, like if I can get Ebola.
They might have like used disease kind of weirdly here, but they might mean just like a mimetic kill agent.
Yeah, because there are even in the real world we have certain markers in our bodies that get activated at a certain time depending on environmental effects. So
yeah, but not by looking at it.
No, now obviously it doesn't. This is the SCP universe. Like it doesn't make sense. It's but it's true actually what you're saying, that it's kind of close to how Slenderman affects its victims just by observing it. So it doesn't say that you have to observe like its face or like as long as you don't see it, you're fine.
I also just had a random thought, as Tyler the Creator famously said about internet bullying. Haha, fella, just close your eyes. Haha, just turn off your phone. just
Put a
don't
blindfold
look at...
on.
Yeah, exactly. The blindfold clutches it again.
It's interesting.
Like, surviving so many SCPs is just putting on a blindfold.
But I wonder if you take the great ape, dress him in like
you're gonna say some fuck shit.
dress him in like a Batman costume or something like that, and then put a bag on his head. Like, will he still get a disease if it's like if it's has a costume or dressed up as a extinguished gentleman?
Would it work if you have these 3D glasses you put on the movies?
Well, it doesn't say. It doesn't really go deep with this disease, quote unquote, which is kind of sad.
They also didn't mention either how they're containing it. Since you can't even observe it, like where is it then?
Well, there is more text, so I will continue to read it.
But before you continue, I'm just gonna leave a disclaimer. Omer is at the moment having problems with his internet.
Again.
Yeah.
So if he's being quiet, if you're wondering why, that's it.
Exactly.
But you guys can hear me right now.
Yeah.
We do hear you.
Good. Yeah, exactly.
But for some reason, our voices gets too glitched for his computer, so like he can't even hear us at this point. But
so my computer, I can hear you guys for now, but my computer basically does SCP-1000.
That's a very clever joke, man. I like that.
Yeah. So we will do that. So if you hear me, get out of my head, and I stop talking. Then you know what's going on.
Omer's like, that's it for me, guys. Have a fun episode.
At this very moment, we're letting the boy watch.
Oh no!
Let the boy listen.
We're gonna put him in the corner.
Nobody puts the baby in the corner. Especially the monk.
I kind of we discussed, me and Filip, about this. Like, we have a lot of inside jokes that listeners don't understand, so you're just gonna have to roll with it, I guess. Like, use it in your own discretion.
But like most of those inside jokes or quotes, I'm pretty sure they're like all from movies that I have not even watched. It's just like Omer Ula just said it one time and then it's just stuck.
Yeah, it's the same here as well. I have no idea when you guys are when you say Mr. Beast. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, back on track. There is a little bit of text about like preventing this disease. Known means of preventing this effect are small scale only, and include, in parentheses, see attached documentation, level 3 clearance required. So this redacted information might just be, it just says Batman suit and bag overhead.
Or blindfolds.
Just close your eyes, please. Because of SCP's 1000's close relation to humanity, it is considered likely that SCP-1000-F1 could eventually transfer to human carriers. Any instance of SCP-1000 finding its way into a major population center would constitute in a class end-of-world scenario with a minimum death toll of and possible extinction of humanity. Fortunately, SCP-1000 appears to instinctively avoid human contact. It is not currently feasible to exterminate SCP-1000 entirely.
So it avoids human contact as well.
I forget how the article is built up, so I probably could have read on a little bit more before. But anyway.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, this Foundation is scared that this disease might be transferred to humans, so suddenly you just drop dead from looking at someone you didn't know had the disease.
Yeah, that is actually a scary scenario, and I understand why they would classify it as like an end of the world scenario, because it's true. You just drop dead. It's not like in Death Note when people just get a fucking heart attack from the Death Note.
Well, that's only if it doesn't specify how they die. Yeah, but yet the Foundation does not. They don't think it's feasible to exterminate 1,000.
So surely you can't even observe it through like a camera or a lens or something like that.
It does say indirectly, so yeah, you.
Okay.
Or wait, did it, or am I imagining?
No, you probably said it. Sometimes when you read, I just zone out a bit.
No, actually, same.
You guys do that when I read as well?
Yes,
Especially when you do it.
especially when you read.
Bro, we do it every time you talk, bro. Facts.
So it's not just my wife telling me to shut up.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What did you say?
Did she say shut up and dance with me?
This woman is
Oh,
my destiny.
I'm sorry, B. I wasn't listening. What did you say?
I won't push the joke. I won't push the joke further. You are appreciated, Ben, and I love you.
I don't think so.
I don't. The highest known population concentrations. I'm sorry.
guys, wait. Now when the monkey's out of the bag.
That part you have to include.
yeah. Sorry, Ola. Continue.
No, I can't. We are all funky monkeys today. How befittingly I chose this podcast. Okay. Either way, let's just continue. There's a lot more to the article, so I'm just gonna continue for the 5th time I've said that. The highest known population concentrations of SCP-1000 are presently located in the Pacific Northwest region of North America and the Himalayan mountain range in Asia. As of these populations remain extant. SCP-1000's presence and have also been documented with the past 5 years on every continent. All known significant populations of SCP-1000 located near human population centers have been eliminated. SCP-1000 came to the attention of the Foundation via Dr. Franz in 14 with the Children of the Sun, who identified themselves as outcast members of the Serpent's Hand.
By like this guy, isn't he basically the Yeti? Like he's a great ape that's white and lives in the Himalayas. That's like exactly like the Yeti.
But there are at the same time they're referring to. It seems like there are multiple of these species, multiple SCPs 1000, because they referred in the beginning that they have different kinds of fur with different at least with different colors.
You guys are catching on.
So it seems like it's a group of SCPs or
It's
a herd
a
of SCPs.
species, a race.
No, but it could be, it is a certain species of a certain animal, but it's like there are selective ones. Like are these groups intelligent in some way that they're avoiding human contact?
Well,
I find that quite fascinating. Like they must be intellectual
we
somehow.
will find out.
But I mean, back in the day, there were like apes that's like exactly like this SCP, but obviously they didn't contain a disease that killed things on sight. Like
No, yeah, obviously, like that part we know is fictional, but yeah, I can imagine like there being like a tribe.
Note that the Children of the Sun and this thing, outcast members of the Serpent's Hand, they are not equal to SCP-1000. They are separate things. Yes or no?
Yeah. But like the thing that I talked about with the great apes that existed back in the day, that's what like the Yeti and Bigfoot is based on.
Donkey Kong?
Because they were like apes that was like 3 meters and heavy as fuck that walked on Earth.
Yeah, well, let's continue and find out. The group, Serpent's Hand, has been completely destroyed by the Foundation due to their reluctance to surrender information about SCP-1000, SCP and SCP. Remaining members have either joined the Foundation or have gone into hiding, presumably as members of the Serpent's Hand. Weapons, tools, and other unique pseudo-technological resources in possession of the organization have been classified as SCP-1000-001 through SCP-1000-. These resources have been made of use by the Foundation in multiple instances. For a full list, see document 1000-3534-Y. Level 3 clearance required. Access to surviving ex-members of the Children of the Sun is restricted to personnel with clearance level 4/1000 unless given direct authorization by Director Jones. Further information is available to personnel with clearance level 3/1000 or above. Personnel with clearance level 3/1000 or above are required to read document Alpha 1596-1000.
It seems like there's a lot of information that requires like a lot of clearance to have, and for whoever that needs to deal with SCP-1000, they need to have this kind of information. And I wonder if they're testing like with D-class personnel, and how did they kind of get the clearance, or were they given the clearance by Dr. Jones? He's like the supervisor of the project, isn't he?
But like, it feels like they can't really get any information from the D-class personnel, like if they would do an observation, because like doctors and they like can't really talk to the D-class personnel, and they can't observe the D-class personnel because they will just fucking die. It feels like the D personnel or D-class personnel doesn't really have a huge role in this SCP, because usually they do like all of the dirty work.
There is no mention of any D-class personnel being used actually, which is kind of unique.
Yeah, they always like throw in D-class just to see what happens. But if you, as you're saying, Filip, if they're just dying, I remember it was like between 2 and 90% chance of death. Am I right?
As I understood it, it starts as a 2% chance of being instantly killed, and that chance goes up by 1% per 20 minutes of viewing.
Okay, so the more you view it, the more you're likely to die.
So you literally can observe
it.
Yeah,
you can observe it,
can't.
But there's just a small chance you will die, and the longer you view it, the more likely you are to die.
Bruh, then it's easy. Just have different personnel every fucking day.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't know if it's that creature that caused the death. If you're viewing it for like a minute and then walk away, you have like what was like 2% chance of instant death. And how would they be able to connect this person's death to SCP-1000 if they haven't observed it enough? So the only way they can rule that out is having maybe a D-class personnel observing SCP-1000 for how long is necessary until they just die instantly.
I don't really understand your point, because they already know that it causes death.
I guess it would be during the time that you're observing the SCP, so I think that would make sense. I think they could figure that out. Yeah, I was imagining that you're just walking away and then suddenly just die at a random time, but it's not like that.
It doesn't actually say if you die, like when you die, if it's after viewing it or during. Like, does your chance of dying stop when you look away? Like the timer, it says it goes up by 1% per 20 minutes of viewing. Also interesting how they found that out.
Yeah, how did they measure that?
if you look at it for 10 minutes and then look away, does the timer pause, or does it like reset? That's
maybe they find that out by having people viewing it for a longer period and seeing that there's a higher death ratio the more you're observing it. So they kind of found a mathematical equation to it or something like that.
Probably because you couldn't like take 5 people and have them watch it, because they would probably die at random times. So there isn't a specific.
Not much consistency in that case.
But then also, the article say, like in the beginning, my memory is quite bad, but didn't it say that the disease affects like the brain? So sure, but wouldn't they be able to like observe the corpses or and see like that the brain have been damaged in any way?
Well, that's also a problem because even viewing the corpses can cause a death.
Oh yeah, right. No, but isn't it when they say corpses, do they mean the corpses of the SCP or the corpses of the victims?
Of the SCP. So it's SCP-1000, the monkey, that is dangerous to look at.
So you can like observe and open up the corpse. Then you can see like, oh, the brain is fucked. So it's probably because of the SCP.
It would have been cool to have some kind of a EEG connect to the victims and see the electrical impulses in the brain. What happens?
Okay, so next part is pretty long, it's a text written by Director Jones. I was thinking, do you want to split it up?
I mean, you're the host. You get to decide.
Then, okay, I will read until... it's too long. Wait.
Are you talking about my dick?
We're not talking about Microsoft, Filip.
So, Ola, the thing that you sent me, am I supposed to read all of that?
Yes, but not yet. I will...
Damn, that takes us...
Yeah, it's a kind of a long text, but we can get through it. Okay, let's start. You've probably heard the rumors before now. Everyone without clearance level to know better wants to get their dig in. Did you hear Sasquatch is an SCP? Are we gonna capture and contain Bat Boy next? Yes, SCP-1000 is Bigfoot. I'm sure you've snickered. Don't worry. Contrary to rumors, we don't actually assign you to Keter duty for finding something humorous. You think Bigfoot is funny because we want you to think Bigfoot is funny. We've bankrolled Hollywood comedians and farcical documentaries, paid off men in gorilla suits, perpetrated hoaxes with bear prints and goat fur, bribed and brainwashed cartoonists to get especially silly depictions on children's television. Even the term Bigfoot comes from us, planted in the media in 1958, a term people would find even harder to take seriously than Sasquatch. Why? We'll get to that. The information in the article that you've already read isn't true. There are 2 direct lies, and plenty lies of omission. There is no such thing as an anomalous pseudo-disease, referred to as SCP-1000-F1. SCP-1000 does not possess a magical death aura. In fact, SCP-1000 does not directly exhibit any anomalous effect whatsoever. We also lied about SCP-1000's intelligence level. SCP-1000 aren't chimp-level smart. They're smarter. To be precise, they are exactly as smart as us. That brings us to the lies of omission. That is what this letter is for. The lies came from me, so I figure the truth should come from me as well. This is the story we got from the Children of the Sun, who defected to us. It's a story we didn't believe and refused to believe at first. As you've already read, the apes we call SCP-1000 evolved alongside us. We walked in the daytime, they walked in the nighttime. Our nocturnal siblings from the shadows.
But while we were still wandering hunter-gatherers, they changed, like we would a few thousand years later. Tools, weapons, agriculture, domesticated animals, stable settlements. As humanity blinked in the Pleistocene sun, SCP-1000 population exploded across the night. They blanked the planet in tens of billions. They made things that we still can't comprehend, even though we have thoroughly studied the surviving species. Organic technology, they made trees and birds of prey grow into fast-moving ships, herds of animals that became trains, bushes that became flying vehicles. From insects and pigeons, they made things equivalent to cell phones, televisions, computers, atomic bombs. The children described vast, shining cities stretching across the glaciers and penetrating the deepest caverns. Grown skyships of ivory and spider silk, creatures tending them with hundreds of blinking eyes. We were rare, like gorillas now, a few 100,000 left at best. We avoided their settlements just like wild animals today avoid ours. SCP-1000 understood we were intelligent, like them, but avoided us just as we avoided them. Saw us as fairies, as gnomes, ascribed us supernatural powers, said we ate bad children while they slept in daylight. Defense of our dwindling wild population in conservation tories, outlawed poaching but in underground consumed our bones as aphrodisiacs. Then their civilization fell, and we did. By we, I don't mean the Foundation, but we, I mean humanity.
The story is muddy. Supposedly a trickster forest god showed humanity favor, showed us the master's tools, and how to use them. Why we did it, we don't know. Perhaps they hunted us. Perhaps we were simply afraid. Perhaps it was just that they fenced us in, unintentionally or not. We simply don't know what the truth is. Somehow, we acquired SCP-1000's own technology, and with it, we instigated an SK-class dominance shift, in which humanity became the dominant species of Earth. We wiped out 70% of SCP-1000's population in a single day. The Day of Flowers, the children call it. Supposedly every flower bloomed that day, while our enemies died in their sleep. Then we hunted the rest down. But when we went further than just killing them, with a few of the more twisted of SCP-1000's devices, we drove the survivors mad, even those hiding behind our reach. We trapped them in their own minds, blocking higher functions and leaving their bodies to fend for themselves like any ordinary ape. We slaughtered their living machines, and burned their vast shining cities with SCP-1000's bioweapons that reduced everything to slurry and dust that washed or blew away in spring rain and wind. We left no traces, not even our own memory. We turned one of their weapons on ourselves, wiped out any knowledge of SCP-1000 and the greatest civilization the planet had ever seen. Only a few humans protected themselves from the effect, kept the forbidden knowledge just in case. The rest of us went back to being hunter-gatherers, none the wiser. Which brings us today. You're going to read all about this in Level 3 documentation, but I'll give you the short version here. SCP-1000 are somehow regaining their forgotten intelligence and knowledge. Maybe they never truly lost it. We don't know. This is why the ever-increasing number of Bigfoot sightings is so worrying. Why the attempts at contact, however indecipherable, are even more worrying. Yes, SCP-1000 are just like us. That's what makes them so dangerous. We wiped them from history and memory. We dissolved their civilization and we slaughtered most of their species. Just ask yourselves, if they got the chance, what more would they do to us? This is very fascinating.
That's the end of the thing. There's a little bit more, I don't know, I'm just gonna read quickly and see. Addendum 10056/D. Instances of SCP-1000 have tried to make contact with Foundation personnel on multiple occasions. Most of these attempts have at contact had data expunged untranslated, though recent attempts showed that some instances of SCP-1000 are capable of communicating in English. And log 1000 AD 065-X1. The following is a rough translation of recent SCP-1000 attempt at communication with Foundation personnel on date redacted, and the rough translation says, "We forgive you. Given choice for now, not forever. Let us back in."
Hell no. Kill they.
You stay in the woods, you fucking...
And that's actually a very interesting take on why there are more sightings of Bigfoot and like Sasquatch and
Yeah,
stuff.
I was a little bit on the track of that it was like Yetis and Bigfoot and things like that early on. Yeah, and I think this article is it's cool written. It's written in a cool way because they lied at the beginning. So you're like, they had you in one track and then they did like a 180. I think that was quite cool to read that. But I do have a bit mixed feelings about this article because like it being Bigfoot and doing this 180 that I talked about, I really appreciate that. And also like that they put humanity in like the Bigfoot population is basically humanity at this moment. So I think it was cool that they put us in a different perspective.
This is like Planet of the Apes, but reversed.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Humans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that was really cool. But one thing that destroyed it for me a bit is like out of insects and pigeons they make atomic bombs and like that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, well, no, it's clearly not based in like science. It's more like mystical, and these Bigfoot creatures are supposedly, from what I gather, more connected to like the planet.
Bushes became flying vehicles, like those parts destroyed.
Yeah, I can understand that, but then I think it's more they didn't just literally take a bush. They like took a bush and a bird and just smashed them together.
And it seems like these the SCP-1000's population was wiped out. Like 70% of 1000's population in a single day, the Day of Flowers. We don't know what that is. According to the text here, supposedly every flower bloomed that day, while our enemies died in their sleep. Then we hunted the rest down. So something happened here, the Day of Flowers. We don't know what that is. And it seems like this documentation is probably the one that people with level 3 clearance get to see. So the entire information we get in the beginning is just for everybody else to feel like, oh, SCP-1000, it kills you, like you shouldn't look at it, like just to get the majority of people just to avoid it.
Feel free to like search up the article now.
Yeah, I might check that out. So that's kind of how I'm feeling here, that they want to get the population's view away from this SCP so that the Foundation can do whatever they want and try to dampen the everything.
Yeah, well, the only thing that I don't really like is that they just mention this trickster forest god like it's nothing. Like, I think that could have been more developed. Like, it would make more sense for the humans to like they somehow sneak their way into a compound or something and steal like some kind of vehicle, let's say like their equivalent of a like attack helicopter, and then go like, it snowballs, so they take more and more control. But yeah, we still have to think that it's still like early humans, so not really smart.
It seems like these were the dominating species.
But I have one, like, I wonder, just to clarify so I don't misunderstand, the children that they're referring to, what exactly are that kind of organization?
I actually looked that up. As detailed in SCP-1005, this is a Reddit post. What we think of as Bigfoot or Sasquatch was actually a sapient race who once were the dominant species on Earth. They were nocturnal, so they were the children of the night, while us humans were diurnal, so we are the children of the sun.
Ah, so children of the sun is basically humans.
That's what I've gathered too.
But what's the people that's related to Scarlet King? Isn't that the children of something as well?
The Children of the Broken God, I think it was called.
Ah, right. Yeah, then
I think maybe I'm mixing the two, but if there's another term, is Children of the Broken God, that's something else, and I don't know if that's connected to the Scarlet King. I'm not sure, but yeah, in this, when it comes to SCP-1000, Children of the Night and Sun, we basically between the humanity and the sapient race. That's
one thing I have a bit that I have a bit of problem with when it comes to like different SCPs, that they use a lot of terminology and words that like you just have to know beforehand. Like Children of the Sun, like it's like, what the fuck do you mean?
Well, I think it's actually it worked like it's supposed to, because first you're like, oh, Children of the Sun, what organization is that? But then when you when you read further into it, it's like, oh, basically that's just humanity.
But like I think it's cool that they use different things that connect the SCPs in the universe, in that universe or different universes. But at the same time, it gets a bit harder to read when it's a lot of different words and groups and all of that.
Yeah, but I would agree as well. Like there's a lot of terminology here, and there were times that I couldn't really keep up.
Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, another thing about Children of the Sun, the Children of the Sun are also supposedly, the people. It says that after humanity destroyed SCP-1000's civilizations, some of the people got blocked, like we erased our own knowledge of SCP-1000, but not everyone.
Were they given amnestics?
Only a few humans protected themselves from the effect, kept the forbidden knowledge just in case. The rest of us went back to being hunter-gatherers. So, yeah, the Children of the Sun are like both like all of humanity, but also these individuals that kept the information about SCP-1000.
You could say that, yeah. So you could say the Children of the Sun is the people that is knows about or was involved in this incident,
and they then supposedly carried on the information about SCP-1000 to their grandchildren and so on and so forth.
That leaves the Serpent Hand. I don't really know who they are.
I should have read about them yesterday, but I think it's too late to do now. It's gonna take forever.
If you know what the Serpent Hand is, write in the comments.
Write in the comments, and don't forget while you're down there, hit that motherfucking like button.
Hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell so it's done.
Imagine it's my ball sack and you're gonna hit it like ding ding ding.
The shockwave is gonna bring down every building.
There's also, if you guys have the article up, there is display ancillary I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Ancillary anomaly reports, like at the almost the very bottom before the we forgive you thing, and it's basically I don't think we should read them, because they are basically just other SCPs referring to SCP-1000, which are, I read like one of them because it says it's related to SCP-2273, SCP-2932, and SCP-2511. And I think I read 2273, and it's like well, in summary, we can maybe read it some other time, but it's in summary a soldier from another dimension who also had these, or another timeline, who also has SCP-1000 in their universe, but the monkeys or the Bigfoots in this timeline make like armor and technology for humans, and they are called engineers. And this SCP in turn had like a link with this SCP talking, like having interviews with a researcher and so on, and it was I wanted to read it all to talk about it, but it's just too much for one episode. We can maybe do a deep dive. So that's SCP-1000. Let's start with well, Omer, have you gotten information enough to have an opinion?
Yeah, it's so basically it's a monkey that's more bigger and stronger. Bro, we got them. That's called NBA players.
Bruh.
No, but like I did actually. I read for myself. I looked it up on the internet and read it for myself because it was a little bit blurry here and there. So in conclusion, I think it's pretty interesting. Like, still the idea of how creepy and how dangerously this animal can be, because I personally think it's like an animal.
Well, for now, they are regaining their consciousness.
For now, exactly. Yeah.
They want back in.
So who knows? I mean, if
they wanna make the comeback of the century.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty interesting. I mean, I haven't heard if you did any sort of rankings or anything, but if you had just
that's what we're doing now.
Scariness, I will say it's a strong 3.
No, I actually agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that scary. I can only
later.
imagine it's a crazy animal, like every other animal in the wild, but just much more bigger than a bear, and I will guess much more aggressive. Weird, I will say a 5. I mean, even balanced, because you can still twist your minds and so on. Depends on how long you are close to it. And creative, I would say a 1, because I mean, come on, it's a monkey. It's a monkey in the forest. Come on, I mean, creative.
It's obvious you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah.
It's a monkey in the forest.
Very obvious.
And enjoyment, I would say actually, I'll be kind. I will say a 6.
Alright.
So
yeah, well, your Discord has been lagging, so it's hard. I can imagine it's hard to enjoy it if you can't.
Exactly.
Properly.
I mean, it also has to do that. So Discord level, I would say the category for Discord is a number 0. No, but like, yeah, Discord fucked it all up, to be honest, because I can't. I hear it and then suddenly it just goes silent, and I was like, are you finished? And I hear like static in the background. I was like, fuck.
Your house have been corrupted. Leave immediately. An MTF force is on their way.
Yes. Or who knows, perhaps I'm becoming SCP. I will be called the banana.
Filip, and who wants to go next?
I can go next. I'm a bit on the same track as Omer. I don't really find it that scary. Because they are basically like humans.
They are kind of like more connected to nature, humans, and a bit more hairy.
Yeah, but like the danger of them is the same as another human.
You have to think that their intelligence right now, or some of them, are still just as an animal. So, like, you wouldn't go up to a bear and be like, "Yo, what's up, bruv?" So it would depend on what level of intelligence they have regained. So if you meet a Bigfoot that is still in its like animal phase, or what you could call it, that could potentially be dangerous. But if you meet someone who has regained all their intelligence, yeah, they would probably be chill.
Yeah, but it's still the same. It's still like humans, because there are stupid people and there are smart people, and then there's people that's dangerous and people that's not dangerous. It's still like humans.
Yeah.
So I don't find it like. It would be scary if you would be in the scenario, but like in general, I don't think it would be scary in everyday life. So I would put out 3 as well, I think, because the danger is still there, I guess. And then weird, I think it's quite weird, like the things that they have made, like fucking atomic bombs with the help of a pigeon. That's ridiculous.
Forest magic, bitch.
Yeah. So.
These motherfuckers make druids look like shit.
Like I remember in episode 1, Benham talked about the staircase, that he thought that was really weird, like because it doesn't make any sense. I think this is like in the same track, like it doesn't really make any sense. So I will take maybe a 7, I guess, because like the things that they have accomplished is really weird, but the way that they are is not that weird, because it's basically bigger humans.
Bigger, hairier humans, yeah.
Yeah. So like in that aspect, I don't think it's that weird, but like the things I've accomplished is quite weird. So I would take like a 7. We will say 8, because it feels like I always say 7. So I say 8. And then creative.
It's a
like
1.
The way,
it's a 1, bro.
Like the way they've written the article, it's creative. But like it's fucking Bigfoot, bro.
Yeah,
like it already exists. It's already exists.
Yeah, well,
they took an idea and made a creative twist on it, but it's still not a new idea.
We say it's like a Oliver twist.
Did you twist away from your mic again? Are you walking to your window looking out and see if there's a Bigfoot there?
Why are you hearing me shuffling around?
No, they heard you talking shit, boy.
No.
You know they want back in, and it's in your ass.
Creative, a 3. And on enjoyment, it feels like what's a bit dragged out, and some parts were just like whatever.
Yeah, the parts with like the 516 Lumina. Also I think the 516 Lumina, like the procedure is like I'm guessing it's like like the Men in Black, they bloop and erase memory. I think it's a way to keep the SCP-1000 dumb or animalistic. I would guess.
That
but
sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really don't like with the article, because it isn't explained. You might be able to find. I'm gonna search it up later or something.
Enjoyment, I will say 5.
Yeah, now Ben.
This was a lot to take in. I think we're just not used to have articles that are a little bit longer. We usually go with shorter articles. I wouldn't say that this is such a scary SCP in of itself, because this is not just a single entity. This is like a population of SCPs, and I appreciate the twist that they took. That they were a species that lived as at the same time as humans, almost as intelligent as us, just larger in size, and the shift in dominant species that happened between them. I wouldn't say it's such of a scary SCP, but I think the idea that if they were to continue, it would be a scary thought, because it's as the article said in the beginning, in the last part of it, if they got the chance, what more would they do to us? For now, they forgive us, because that we basically wiped out their population we wiped them from history and memory. We didn't know any better. But yeah, what would they do? It would be like a fucking not a civil war, but like
I think it would be like, probably they would turn the table and do the same thing to us. They would
since they are as intelligent as us. But I'm guessing that the Foundation is keeping an eye on them, making sure that they're not getting too increased.
But I just want to make a comment, like we didn't know better. But to be honest, I think that humanity's actions were justified, because they literally hunted us for fun and used our bones when they were supposed to have funny time, you know?
Well, yeah, it makes sense. Like if rabbits had a way to become the dominant species, they would do it like instinctively.
Yeah, for surviving.
Yeah, survival of the fittest.
And that's why I feel like this that increases the scare factor a little bit, because the idea of having these go on an all-out war with us would be quite drastic. So
imagine being on the battlefield. You see these Bigfoots across like a big open field.
3-meter creatures.
They pick up some grass, they throw it and explodes or something. They turn grass into grenades. They turned sticks into dildos, and they fucked us.
They just pick up like a stick and throw it, and when it lands, it literally explodes, so it destroys like 2 countries in one explosion.
It's their version of IEDs.
Oh yeah, you would know a lot about them, huh?
Oh, I do. I would.
Yeah. Sorry, Ben. Scary.
I would say that it's not as scary as the other SCPs that we've had, but I would still say that this is a 5 scary, because I don't like the idea of having another species like trying to go on an all-out war with humanity. It would not look good on either part.
I know I'm cutting you out all of the time.
No, it's fine.
I just don't want to proceed because I have things I wonder about. But like, they said that they had problems. I don't know if it's a lie, or not, but they said that they have problems identifying a way to like eradicate or kill SCP-1000, because if they are like a constant threat of going back to the old days and reverting the dominance, why don't we just kill them off? And I mean, if they're like basically, some are like human-like and some are like ape-like, and there are not a lot of them in the world, wouldn't it be quite easy to just take like AC-130s or drones and charge them up with thermal and just fucking kill them all?
Don't know.
Because why have a threat that can like erase the human race? Rhymes and crimes with Mr. MP.
Yeah. I didn't realize either why they couldn't get rid of the entire maybe because they're kind of instinctively avoiding human contact. So I'm guessing it's hard for us.
They're walking around in the woods. Just have thermal scope or something like that.
Yeah, I guess but we still. Yeah, I wouldn't understand either.
I think I'm guessing the Foundation isn't exterminating them because we want to know how they're, and that might be why the article doesn't mention anything more about this trickster forest god, or they just like briefly mention, they just say that they turn like bushes into helicopters or whatever, flying crafts, but they don't know how. So that might be why they don't exterminate all of them.
Yeah, that's a good point, because maybe humanity wants to use their knowledge as an advantage.
It's probably that they have some sort of power. Like I said before, they are connected more deeply with like Mother Nature or whatever. Because present day Bigfoots wouldn't, like if it's like craftsmanship, they wouldn't know how to do it because they haven't been taught, because they are descendants of these.
But
previous.
Like the risk to reward ratio isn't great here, boys.
No, maybe not.
Yeah.
But this is also actually a very good segue when it comes to the weirdness, because I think it's weird because there are a lot of unexplained stuff that makes it very weird. There was somewhere in the article that said that their population exploded across the night. So why don't they do it now? It's in the last ones, but while we were still wandering hunter-gatherers, they changed. It's in that section. As humanity blinked in the Pleistocene sun, I think is how you pronounce it, SCP-1000's population exploded across the night. They blanketed the planet in the tens of billions.
Yeah, but was it during one night? Because it said during the...
Across the night.
Across the night. Well, that's ambiguous, actually. But it still say population exploded, so it wasn't like a gradual population increase. It's still like it probably didn't happen like over one night or day, or I don't know when they have sex during night. But I'm gonna have to search this up. Rule 34, help me. Bigfoot sex.
I just feel like how they multiplied is a very big question here, and how come they're not doing it now? Since there are instances of, it's not just one creature here. There's a few of them, as I'm understanding it. I would also like to clarify to Filip as well. They didn't create atomic bombs from insects and pigeons. From having insects and pigeons.
Oh yeah, I see that now.
So that's guy, you don't use pigeons as atomic bombs like that. That's just doesn't...
Have you seen the movie Nope?
Yeah, but they still have bushes that became flying vehicles. That's the same.
Bushes that became flying vehicles. Well, they as I said, I don't think author means like literally just hopping on a bush and flying away.
They made trees and birds of prey grow into fast-moving ships.
Yeah, well, like they are like biological vehicles, so it's like a living thing. Have you no haven't? Yeah, no. Well, actually, yeah. Spoilers for the movie Nope. I'm gonna count down from. You can have to like skip this part or something. I'm just gonna stall a little bit more. But in the movie Nope, it's like a big UFO. So you think it's aliens or something, but it turns out that it's just one big like animal. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. That they use birds like as transport and things like that. That makes sense. And the thing with the atomic bombs, that was a miss up by me. But like it's still bushes that they became flying vehicles. That you can't.
No, well, my interpretation is that they take bushes and then probably something else, and they evolve it somehow, like forest magic or something. I don't know, fucking rainbows and sunshine.
Use your imagination. How would you turn a bush into a moving vehicle?
Like I would take a moving vehicle and then put the bush on it for camouflage.
Take a car.
Yeah, that's probably how they did it as well. Because
but then it's not the bushes that are the vehicle.
Come on, it's just how the article is.
I think probably if a wild guess would be like SCP-1000 is able to alter evolution, so they like just super evolved a bush until it became a fucking helicopter. I don't know, but something like that. But because like I've mentioned earlier, they said something about the forest trickster god, so obviously there are some type of otherworldly and possibly like fucking magical properties.
So that's why it's that's why I find this specific SCPs quite weird, because there is a lot of question on how they developed their technologies and what they were using. Maybe there is some kind of magic, as Ola mentions, and also they're consuming human bones. Aphrodisiac, I think it's called aphrodisiac. It's food and herbs that are thought to get you in the mood for lovemaking or to increase your sex drive. So they're literally using our brains just to multiply even more.
To make their dicks harder, so they can fuck for longer. In the night or in the day. It's like how people nowadays illegally hunt like rhinos and elephants. And, they grind their... But people also say like elephant tusks are supposed to grounded down or like supposed to cure cancer. But
then one thing I also reacted to or thought about, like they said that the population exploded across the night and they become tens of billions, like on Earth. How the fuck did that like the human race? How many billion are we? Like 5, 6, 7? 7, yeah, right.
We're pushing 8, yeah.
Like tens of billions, and they are bigger than us, like in general. They had like how does that even work? Like I understand that they had cities. They talked about they had like cities, so like the whole planet must have been like Japan.
Yeah.
And how is there no evidence of that? They said that they got pulverized, like. The cities got destroyed.
They got eradicated, yeah.
If there were tens of billions, it needed to be like cities like that across the planet. And how did the humans survive that?
There are like plot holes. I agree with you.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's,
and humanity wiped them out, like 70% of them, just in a single day. That event we don't know much about. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's a lot of mystery here that makes it very weird. Like there is
in one of these. In one of the links below, one of the other SCPs that cross-reference this, I think it's SCP 2932, is it's like an old structure. So there are supposedly like hidden away, and this one in particular, 2932, is it's protected. So yeah, they tried a bit to like work it into other SCPs, but yeah, I do agree. Like if there were supposedly like tens of billions, you would have had more evidence of their existence.
That's actually right. I'm reading here as well. Like some SCPs and other sources of living cultural insight into SCP-1000 all present consistent inconsistencies, which may be used to create a fuller picture of the nature of these iterations, though conclusions are uncertain. So. Foundation is basically, they kind of suspect some SCPs being associated with the SCP-1000's culture, and
I would recommend the listeners to like make a deep dive themselves. Like if you want to read the article again, go ahead. But in the bottom on the SCP wiki, there's a bunch of there's 3 different SCPs. There's something here called the structure, which I read a little bit of, but yeah, I had sat and read for like 1.5 hours, and I wasn't even halfway through like the link
This
stuff.
is why we should maybe in the future maybe we should avoid SCPs that are in the thousands, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, because these will be very long SCPs, and we have to like make. I enjoy these. I have to say I enjoy this very much.
Like Omer said, I like it long and nasty.
Yeah. As a wise man once said.
That's one of my favorite Omer quotes from this podcast.
Not short and sweet, long and nasty.
One thing I talked about with Ben when we're on our way down to you guys a few weeks ago or a week ago or whatever. It's like when I'm in the moment of doing the podcast, a lot of things I like just don't register or like maybe don't find that funny. But then when you listen back to it, it becomes so much funnier. Like the thing like long and nasty. When Omer said that in the podcast, like nobody laughed or nobody did a reaction. But when I listened to it afterhand, like I laughed my ass off. I found it so funny. Long and nasty. But I'm talking about my dick.
Well, you're the shortest of us, so to conclude the weirdness, yeah, this is a 7 weird for me. Lots of questions that needs answering, and I'm guessing that more answers are going to lead to even more questions. Creative, wow, the creativeness of this. The Deadly Moose, the author, I have to give you like a round of applause. This was insanely creative, in my opinion. The author did a wonderful job at just twisting this entire article, from one being the fact that it's a Keter SCP, you can't look at it and you will instantly die, and like that didn't really make sense. But then suddenly all this information that there's there was a civilization of
that
SCPs.
was just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, it's literally the tip of the iceberg. So I really liked how they just twisted entirely and using a concept in real life to create this SCP. So I really enjoyed this. This was very creative. This is 9 creative. This was great. I would have enjoyed a little bit more if it was less confusing. I found a lot of the times in the articles I was zoning out, as Filip said as well, because there were too many terminologies.
It's just words, something redacted, words, weird word, words, some procedure that you don't even know what it is, words.
So I'm a little bit simple-minded. I lose track when there's a lot of scientific explanation and academic writings. Like I start losing it because in order to grasp the previous sentence, I need to go a little even further back, and by that time the reader has already spent too much time. Keep going.
As I said, I forgot that I was supposed to have a SCP. I have read this one like before, but like probably a couple of years ago, and like watched some YouTube video about it. But there's also the thing with pacing when reading, because sometimes you don't know when if I've read it like 5 times, I might have been able to read it more clearly, because I have a hard time when there's either parentheses or when something is redacted. It's kind of hard to keep on pace, because you pronounce, like, if a date's redacted, it's hard to like continue after saying date redacted. And yeah.
So these are mainly our own faults, like in the end, because we're not really fluent when it comes to hearing and reading English. It's not we don't really comprehend it in the same way as other people do. That it's their natural, their first language.
If you're listening in like, damn, this is like hard to listen to when we just straight up read, I wouldn't blame you, and I understand.
Yeah, very well said. So when it comes to the creative part, this is a 9. This was very creative. I would have enjoyed if it was a little bit more simpler. And enjoyment, this was also a 9. I really enjoyed this. This was a fantastic article. Really liked the twist there, and including other SCPs, like the Serpent Hand. There's a whole article about the Serpent's Hand as well. It's some kind of a cult.
Yeah, like I said, I forgot. That's the one link I forgot to even read a little bit about, so I should have.
Yeah, but it's basically a cult.
SCP universe is filled with different cults, like the button pushers.
Now, after hearing Benham's, I'm going to stay true to my thoughts and my ratings, but at the same time I feel a bit unfair to the author because obviously we all our interest got piqued, or we were enjoying it at some extent because we have been talking almost 2 hours for just this SCP. So I feel that maybe I've done some injustice to the author.
No, you can't go back on your word, man. You can't do that.
No, but no, that's
Fuck the author.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to stay true to what I've said because those are my honest thoughts. But my ratings may not be 100% accurate. But I'm not changing them. I'm just putting out in the world. Because I'm a man of my word. If I say that the boy's going to watch in the corner, he's going to watch.
Hey guys. Yeah, so now keep it short, okay? Come on now, keep it short. Come on, let's fucking end this shit already.
Don't you want this long and nasty? No, but I feel like every time I've hosted or when Benham hosts, like it's an echo chamber because we are just yes, you are right. But my winner is Benham.
Hey.
Bro! He just goes between you two all the time.
I do mostly. The only thing I don't really agree with on Filip's and Omers are the creative. I understand. Like, it's just Bigfoot, but I think or you did actually mention it, Filip, but the creative part is, instead of it just being like, how do you say it, you know, the real life lore, or whatever you could call it, is like that Bigfoot is supposedly from, like, earlier times, not dinosaur times, but, like, it's supposed to be a surviving older species. But they like turn that, they take that real life lore and like twist it even more, and that's what I like. But mostly, I agree mostly with the scary part that it is. I think it depends. Like I said, if you were to meet one of these guys and they are still just an animal, and if they feel threatened, you know what they could do to you. They are probably like around 2 meters and weigh like 150 kilos, so they're gonna fuck you up. Well, my winner is Ben, but I don't know, we can talk amongst each other, and one of you other guys could probably choose SCP, because I think how many I have been host for 2 times.
I've been a host a half time, and that was the last time, but that was a bit of a clusterfuck. So
I think it's gonna be good nonetheless.
Anyone has something more to say?
Please follow us on SCP Enomalies podcast on Instagram. Same goes for YouTube as well. If you have any recommendations on what kind of SCPs you guys want us to read, we would love to get your recommendations.
Go get your mom's credit card. Look at the numbers on the front and the back, and send them to our email so we can buy better mics.
See ya, guys. It's here around. Thank you for listening to our famous good podcast. I hope you guys enjoy.
Famous is a bit of a lie.
And keep in mind, the SCP Foundation is listening. Take care.
Bye.